Let's have that energy back in the air. And with that, Prashant, over to you then.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. Great to be here. Can you guys see us and hear us okay? All of you are on mute. I'm so happy we don't have to say that again. First and foremost, a big round of applause to iMedia, Jaswant and the team, Shiny, Varun, Girish, Neha, Rohan for making this happen so that we're not on mute, we don't need to check our cameras, there's no internet connection issues. So a big round of applause to them. I'm going to spend, just a quick next 5 minutes on slides on why organic is super critical, and are you actually ready for the organic first stage? Okay. See, I've forgotten how to use this also. I'm busy sharing screen. So just quick introduction for those of you who haven't heard about us. We're AdLift. We're an 11-year-old digital performance agency, 150 people strong, India's fastest growing performance agency, worked with about 250 plus brands across multiple verticals. A full stack agency, so search, SEO, paid, organic, creative is what we do. And we kind of jump into some very important data points as we talk about why your brand needs to be organic first, right? So today, over 60% of traffic and revenue comes from search, whether it's organic or paid. And when you kind of divvy that up further, close to 40% is only organic. But for the most part, a lot of brands are more concentrated on the paid segment, driving direct brand search, which is only 10%. So it becomes critical to figure out dominant channel visits even today is organic. Coupled with the fact, and I think we've all seen this, right? So when we talk about COVID, the last 18 months, even prior to that, if you go back and you kind of look at your analytics data, the one thing that continuously goes up is your paid search CPCs and cost. CAC, your customer acquisition cost. But if you were to map that out with your SEO efforts, you'll actually see your effective cost per click on SEO always declining if you're doing the right thing. Coupled with the fact the bottom right graph here, you're not continuously dependent on spending, right? So all of us have probably been through this where we had to cut costs, we had to make that almost maybe zero also. And at that point, your traffic to the website pretty much diminishes and goes to zero. You kind of see that there. But with SEO, if you're investing wisely on organic, on building a very strong organic brand, even if you cut down spending, you don't see that happening. The early bird, I love this. This is a data point of a tool that all of us use. It's Zoom, right? And I've kind of pulled data from pre-COVID times, right, where a lot of us weren't using video conferencing software. We had to, because suddenly COVID hit. We're all sitting in our homes. And this is a comparison between Zoom, which is pre-COVID times, on number of keywords that they were ranking for organically on search, as compared to behemoths within the video conferencing space, 10, 11-year-old companies, WebEx owned by Cisco, GoToWebinar. If you look at their traffic and keyword position data, before COVID, so before COVID hit, they had about 11,000 keywords that they were actually ranking for, out of which close to 6,000 was in the top 10. Compare it to the big behemoths in the room, Cisco was at about 2,000, GoTo was at 1,000. Now, obviously, product makes a big difference. You know, you have to align. I'm not saying it's only organic, which is why Zoom went public and all the good things happen, and all of us use that. But one key reason was when people were actually searching for video conferencing software, these guys came up. They came up higher and faster than their bigger competitors. Another interesting data set on consumer behavior change. This is data from SparkToro, which basically talks about of all searches. So let's say there are about 100 searches happening on Google. 50% pre-COVID had zero click. Zero click means I basically saw the result, I didn't click, I got what I wanted or I didn't, but I didn't find anything interesting. 45% was organic and about 4.2% was paid. Post-COVID, the map changed significantly. So 65% was zero click, organic at 33, and paid saw a hit over here at about 1.5. Lots of folks cut spending, but one of the main reasons for this shift was the change of mobile. So lot of more folks were on mobile devices, and typically if you divvy up these two pie charts and break it up from desktop to mobile, mobile has a higher zero-click ratio. And that's what happened. Lots of folks went on mobile, and hence that pie increased. The point I'm trying to make here is we're very much concentrated on those 10 results or 20, the organic. That's what we know. That's 100% visibility from our eyes, but that's not true. When you actually map that out to featured snippet, knowledge, panel, tweets, stories, which is all part of organic, it's part of your branding, organic is only 41%. And we're missing out on the rest of the 60%. That's branding. That's where you want to concentrate on. And that's the area of opportunity. So with that, we will now dive into questions with two digital mavens, but I'll call them mavericks because this is post-COVID era and you got to be mavericks versus mavens. Start with Samir. Samir, just to set some context, it'll be great for the audience here to understand within the whole digital realm, where does your org sit and how big is your team?
Okay, so e-commerce is like a sales function at Max Life Insurance. We report to sales, and the beauty of us reporting to sales is that we can spend as much as long as the business keeps growing, right? But it's a dream for every marketer to carve out separate monies for growth hacking, right? Try out new experiments, try out new channels, whether they work or not. We've been able to continue experimenting because SEO has been able to bring our overall cost of acquisition within acceptable limits, right? So I might be experimenting with a paid channel with a cost of acquisition of 200%, but when I look at it at an overall level, SEO brings down my business cost of acquisition. Specifically talking about SEO, we have a cross-functional team. There are 2 people in business, 2 in content, 1 product manager, a dedicated 3 to 4 member tech team, and 3 to 4 member team at AdLift. We work like a CFT with no reporting hierarchies, and that's how it's worked out for us.
Awesome. Mayur, how does that fit for you?
So for us, e-commerce overall, like Samir said, for us also it sits within the sales organization. What we have done is we have divided our e-commerce business into 3 parts: traffic, conversion, and experience, right? So traffic basically is the part where we take care of SEO, performance marketing, affiliate marketing, all those things, right? And conversion basically ensures features, technology, all those things. So what we do is we have 2 resources dedicated for SEO. One technically sound person who understands the technical aspect of SEO and ensures that everything that we are looking at for implementation gets implemented. Second person really good with the content, and her job basically is to ensure whatever content opportunities are there, whether it's on the website, on the blog, or outside the website that we have, all those get executed, right? So again, SEO is very, very heavy tech dependent science, and we're trying to balance both content and SEO through two resources, one on technology and one on content.
Got it. Now, we saw a couple of slides on change in consumer behavior. So how did, Max Life adapt to the change in demand from an organic perspective?
So COVID actually increased awareness and consideration for insurance beyond expected limits, right? Our jobs as marketeers was no longer to build awareness and consideration. It was actually to just tap into the funnel, because people already knew what it meant to have life insurance in these times. And specifically for SEO, keyword searches for COVID insurance. When COVID began, keyword searches for vaccination options, which vaccine is better, outperformed keyword searches for our category. Our category keyword searches is not that big. And we were able to tap into these consumer trends because we were constantly looking at what the consumers are searching. We've often had discussions internally where stakeholders would say, okay, these keyword searches are all right, but they're not exactly part of the category that you're in, right? If somebody is searching for vaccination, what has that got to do with insurance? And our counter always was that the consumer is the same, right? If I am going after an urban affluent guy to get him to buy insurance for me, and at this point in time, top of mind, what he has is which vaccine is better and how to get the right vaccine, I have to solve that problem, right? I have to get that user on my platform, engage him, and then maybe the insurance conversation can happen later. That's some of the key trends that we've been able to pick up during COVID.
You?
Yeah, so COVID was the biggest digital disruptor in this country, and a lot of people who were not actually searching online went online. So searches for almost all the category went up. For us also, it was incredibly high. What we realized was a lot of people started searching for computer glasses. Okay, and, because a lot of time people started spending in front of their computers at their homes. We realized that this is a category which is in a way going to break out. We started working on the content, the explainer, what kind of blue cut lenses that you need to have, and these insights from the searches helped us in ensuring that we are able to come up with the products, or at least the content which gets users to our website and solves their queries. So that was one big category shift that we have seen. A lot of people who don't have power started wearing spectacle just for the protection.
Yeah, I mean, just segueing into this, I think one of the common myths in SEO is it takes time. So I want traffic, let's do it quickly. But, this is a time where I think both of you guys have talked about how quickly you kind of, moved to seize the opportunity and actually gain from it. So, back in the day, yeah, it did take time. But now if you've got, the right strategies in place, the right teams in place, you can really move quickly. Not as quickly as, obviously paid, because that's a switch. But you've pretty much aligned teams to move fast. And I think that's what, I capture from here. On the overall priority, whether it's traffic, demand generation, revenue, where was, and Mayur, will start with you, where was SEO or organic before COVID, on a priority list? So you've got 4 or 5 different demand generation channels, and after COVID, how has anything changed?
Fortunately for us, it started changing before COVID. Because we had a realignment on the costs, and paid was the biggest channel for us. And paid is like a drug. Okay, if you pull it out, you'll have withdrawal symptoms. So we started seeing that as soon as the questions were about the profitability, we had to cut down on the cost, and then we started moving towards search. So it happened for us, fortunately, before COVID. Today, it is the biggest channel for us. It is the channel which brings about 60% of our revenues, and with our focus constantly on search engine optimization and content, it is helping us keeping the overall costs also low. So what is happening now, now that we are able to rank for a lot of keywords on top, we can also dominate the search page, right? So I have two results organically coming, I have one result of map coming, and I have also have a ad running. So like 4 of 10, 12 results on the first page we are able to dominate.
That's awesome. Sameer?
So, uh, to be honest, nothing has changed for us pre-COVID and post-COVID. We were always very aggressive on SEO. If I put all companies on a spectrum of growth at any cost to profitable growth, we've slowly transitioned from growth at any cost to profitable growth over the last 5 years, because we are a 5-year-old channel in the organization, and since inception, SEO was at the heart of our strategy. We knew that if we want to continue chasing growth, we will have to over-index on SEO. And it's just that the content velocity for us has skyrocketed in the last 2 years. The fact that we were working remotely and people were not coming to office did not hinder the velocity at which we were writing content, publishing it, coming up with new tech initiatives. And that, I think, put us ahead of competition, because we've seen their content velocity go down significantly when they were forced to work remotely.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned earlier, right? There were certain, keyword and content groups that you weren't kind of thinking about, and then you kind of figured out, what, now the map has obviously changed, and the only way to actually tap into that on an organic way is creation of content, whether it's editorial, whether it's video, how-tos, because the time spent on mobile, the number of mobile phones, increased about 40 to 50%. Time spent went up 3x, right? So people were consuming, and you definitely needed to be top of mind. So because organic is cross-functionally dependent, right? You need to get a lot of buy-ins, and it's not always easy, as easy as maybe another channel would be. This is spend, this is ROI, this is what we projected. So lots of questions usually get asked on, why should we do it now? Why should we spend? How do you guys, we'll start with you, Sameer, prioritize, sell SEO to stakeholders internally?
It's been a difficult journey, and I have the leadership to thank. We have these monthly business reviews with leadership where we present what e-commerce is doing, what's next, what's the next big thing we are doing, and we attempted to initially we attempted to tell them, okay, we're ranking for so many keywords in the top 3 positions, and we were not able to cut ice with them. So we tried a different strategy. What we did was we took a Google Assistant in the meeting room, and we said, okay, Google, what is term insurance? And automatically, because we were ranking number 1 on SEO for term insurance, the Google Assistant started talking about, according to Max Life Insurance, term insurance is XYZ, right? And it obviously resonated with the larger leadership team. The other example that we often used was when Policy Bazaar would spend campaigns, crores of rupee on their campaign, we were getting the maximum click share because we were ranking highest on category keywords. And it's an anomaly. You wouldn't usually see a brand rank ahead of aggregators on SEO. It's actually not meant to be, but we've been able to crack this for a while now, and that's really helped us.
Yeah, I've had so many different conversations along the same lines where CMOs, brand owners, custodians have said, what, I'm spending, X, I'm sponsoring Y, Z, and that's why my brand searches are going up. But obviously you're spending a ton over there. There's no cost comparison. But at the end of the day, when you kind of see an ad, maybe the brand resonates with you, but the category also. And if you're not doing well on the category terms, then your competitors are, right? Because they're the ones who've optimized. So your spending on the brand would have a trickle-down effect on helping competitors drive traffic if you're not there also. So it's kind of it's a mix of both. Mayur, your views?
Yeah. So for us, what worked? So when we pull down the spends, you guys are able to hear me?
You're on mute.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. Okay, so for us, when we pulled down the spends, we started seeing crash in the traffic, and that's when this question was, how do we build sustainable traffic? Because this is not the sustainable way of just keep pouring money, and it's a leaking bucket. Customers will come, or users will come, users will go. So one big question was around sustainable growth, and that's when we said that we need to invest into organic SEO because that is where the customers are. Second big question that we were able to answer was the brand searches and the category searches. In most cases, the category will be far bigger than the brand searches. For us, we have about 50 to 60 lakh searches around our categories which are related to the spectacles, contact lenses, and all the other products that we sell, versus our brand which is Titan Eye Plus, which is about 1 to 2 lakh. So unless you are a brand which is really big and has taken a form of a category in itself, you'll always have great headroom available in category, and that's where we said that we need to crack that and get a lot of customers from there. I will just touch upon the result of it. When we had started SEO, 55 to 60% of our traffic was brand organic. Okay, today about 70% of our organic traffic is category traffic. So that is the kind of shift that has happened. The growth mostly has come from the category. The brand has grown slower than the category. So that is what is impacted.
That's a key win. Awesome. Sameer, scaling and SEO aggressively, right? Again, a myth. ये तो time लगेगा. Don't know what the numbers is. How do you aggressively scale organic at Max?
I think it's building domain authority, which takes time. But once you reach a certain level, your content velocity will drive how fast you can grow in SEO. So, it's a myth that you have to focus on top 10, top 50, top 100 keywords, and that's where you will get majority of your traffic from. Yes, what's correct is that the majority of search intent sits there, but it's also very difficult to rank on those keywords, and hence it's important that you continuously invest in the long tail. Blog was always a key strategy for us, which was focusing primarily on long tail. To simply put, content velocity is what can change things for you very quickly.
We're almost out of time here, so I'll kind of throw out my last question. Your lens into 2020, what do you see from an SEO perspective evolving in 2022?
So I believe local languages will become really big, and we have seen a lot of big tech like Amazon, Flipkart, Google. They're pushing or nudging customers to use the local languages. Okay, they are running the ads. So local languages are going to become bigger. A lot of people are comfortable searching in their own languages. The brand should become ready for these opportunities because the searches will shift to that. Fortunately, we have recently launched a Hindi website, and it's just been 15 days. We are hopeful that a lot of change in this trend will get us a lot of new traffic, and once it happens, we'll move to other 13, 14 languages which are there in as a part of our plan. So, yeah, vernacular is one big trend coming.
Sameer?
So Google, for instance, is focusing on the next billion users, and the next billion users in India are not going to come from urban cities. It's going to come from tier 2, tier 3. And whether we believe it or not, the internet speeds there are still not, at par with what we are used to. And sometimes our websites take 10, 15 seconds to load, which has become one of the prime criterias for Google to rank websites across categories, and hence, they call it core web vitals. That has become one of the key differentiators for you to win in SEO, and that's where we are focusing.
Yeah, I mean, we're a lot of us are just focused on obviously English, right? But non-Hindi, a quick stat here is 2x of English searches today on Google. So when I say non-English, it's Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, all of that. So that's a big area of opportunity if you've not tapped on that. With that, I want to really thank you, Sameer, for being here. Thanks, Mayur. And can we open it up for questions, or we're out of time? If we do. Okay. Great. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.